If you're new to my YouTube channel, please click that subscribe button and remember to click the bell icon to get notifications of all my uploads throughout the week. Should have brought a cup of coffee in here. Drat, never mind. Anyway, so last week or last Saturday I showed you how I stitched in 3 signatures into the spine of my 5x8 lapbook using just a very basic 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Now, I am aware that there are a lot of kind of journals out there that use different ways to attach pages into a journal, such as the Traveller's Notebook, the Midori style kind of Traveller's Notebook. And I thought it would be quite interesting to replicate that in the other half of the lapbook. So I have pages that are on my right hand side, which are stitched in, but we've still got this section here on the left hand side of the lapbook, and I thought it might be quite nice to develop a system for putting in your inclusions or signature papers like this. It's quite bright, isn't it? You can't really see them properly. Like this. This is a new set of signature papers, by the way, but I'll tell you about that in a second. And actually attach these into the lapbook on the left hand side using those Midori style Traveller's Notebook elastics, he says, as if by magic. So which I've pre-prepared there. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you how I'm utilising elastic to add in some removable pages in my lapbook. So let me just switch over to my overhead camera and then we'll get cracking. So just to recap then quickly in close-up, this is where I stitched in the signatures and inclusions onto the spine of the right hand side and then decorated it with a few charms and trinkets kind of thing, just to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit, although, you know, kind of sort of masculine but not quite, but you know, the less we say about that the better. Anyway, so on this side is where I want to put my Midori style papers. Now, I did say that I had a new set of signature inclusions. This new set is, in fact, let me bring the papers in as they are. So these ones are, we have flowers and a few butterflies and stuff put in. Now I have printed these double-sided, so if I flip over, we've got the ones on the other side. So you've got roses again and butterflies. There's what we call red hot polka or Niphophia. Again, butterflies, and then we've got some nice agapanthus, more roses. I have printed them twice. And then you have what look like sunflowers, but actually they're not. They're called Galladia, and also not quite sure what they are, but they've got yellow centres and white outers, but there you go. And again, you have different backgrounds. You've got the lines on this one, and then on some of them you've just got that kind of vintage faux paper with that fox in on there. So again, 4 sheets of 10 by 8, 10 inches obviously, because when you fold it, it makes you 5 by 8. And like I said, I've printed double-sided, so I've printed once, turned the paper over, then printed again on the reverse, left it to dry for a little while, and this is what they look like once they're trimmed out. And I have a little bit at the bottom there that I haven't trimmed out properly. Look at that. There we go. I have now. So once that white border's gone, it looks kind of really nice and vintagey, with a little hint of floral, botanical in there too. So the other set, obviously, you had the notes to self, you had the graph paper, you had the handwrite, just the normal note paper, but you also had that cursive handwriting practice. Now there are blue lines in there, I just don't know whether or not the cameras can pick it up because of the lighting in here, but there is that blue line in there too. So that these new ones are now available on my website to purchase, same price as the others. So that's what they look like done. I've also printed a second set of these ones. So just to show you the same ones, notes to self, handwriting practice, grid paper, and again double-sided, so that we have a nice 16-page inclusion or a 16-page signature when we're done. Now I need 3 of these to do what I want to do today. So I've done a second set of that one there, which is this one, which I haven't trimmed out yet, but these 2 I have already trimmed out. So what I need to do now before we go any further is just trim these out, which I'm going to do just using my Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, and I will be right back. Right, so that's now been trimmed out, so all I'm going to do is just fold them over, just jog it up, just to make sure, and then grab my bone folder and just add a lovely crease, or as my friend Suze used to say, commit the crease. There we go. So now we have 3 sets of inclusions, signatures, 4 pages, which is then turns into 16 pages. So you've got 8 at either side and they're double-sided. So, sorry, 4 at either side, and they're double-sided. So you've got 8 and then 8, giving you 16. Okay, so now we've got those ready, and put that just to one side. I've also cut out from an old Tim Holtz 12 by 12 pad, and this was the Lost and Found. So I've taken just one of the florally ones, which I'm not all that enamoured with, one of the license plates, and also one of the book letterpress kind of sheets. And all I've done is I've cut them down to same size, 10 inches by 8 inches, and then scored and folded down the middle. And I'm going to put each one of these inside. There is a reason, and I will explain. Okay, so I've now got 3 with that outer wrap on each one. Now the reason I've done that is because the paper that they use in those paper pads is thicker than the paper that we use for our printers. So I hope I've got this right. Standard GSM weight for photocopier or printer paper in the UK is 75 to 80 GSM. And I think the American equivalent to that in poundage is 32. I think it's 30, if I remember rightly, but I could be wrong. I'm sure that if I am wrong, you'll kindly correct me in the comments below. But do it nicely, thank you. So the outer weight of these is heavier. It doesn't actually say on the pad what the weight is, which is a bit of a shame, because it would be nice to know, but it doesn't say anyway what the weightage is of these papers. But that don't matter because, like I said, it's heavier weight, it's thicker, and that gives us a little bit of rigidity for these inclusions. Okay, so let's just put them to one side and bring the Lapbook back in. Now, the easiest way to do this without any faffing about and messing is just to create some elastic bands that go around the left hand side. Now on the Midori or the Traveller's Notebook, you can punch holes in and then thread the loop through, so that will hold that in a central position. Obviously you can do that. There are lots and lots of videos on YouTube showing you how to punch in the holes and how to thread the elastic through. I'm not going to show you how to do that because this is the easy way how to do it. I actually did watch one this morning. I did pull up the list on YouTube just to see exactly how many there were showing you how to put these holes in, and there was just lists and lists and lists of different people, of ladies and gentlemen. I was quite surprised to find, or that have already done how to punch your holes in and then thread it through to create your Midori style. But this is how to do it without. Okay, so elastic. Pretty much you want to create 2 elastic bands, just like that. But you want one which is looser than the other. Which is, you'll see why in a second. Now you can do it just by measuring out a double length and then cutting it, and then when you tie it off there's going to be tension in there to go around. So that should do you. Now I've left a few tails on there just so that I could show you how to finish them off. Once you've got the right size, and you'll know you've got the right size, because if you've got it too tight the paper will curl right up, and it's too strong. If it starts curling and pulling it in like that, then it's too strong. You need a little bit, but not a lot, because the paper's not exactly thick. So once you've cut and trimmed off your tails and tied off your elastic, you need either a lighter or some matches or a little tea light or whatever, and then just melt off just to stop those ends from fraying. Now, I haven't had a lighter for a good 7 or 8 years because that's when I stopped smoking. And I'm just going to do the same thing on this one. Just trim it off, get rid of the excess. Not getting rid of it totally, I have left a little, and then I'm just going to burn that off just to melt that elastic. I had to go out and buy matches, can you believe? That should do you. That should do you. Okay, so you have your 2, one which is tighter than the other. The one which is tighter goes around the outside of your Lapbook, like so. You've also got the rigidity in the spine of that Lapbook, so this isn't pulling it, but it is taut. I was going to make a comment about my abs then, but that would be a lie. So let's just bring these sheets back in again. So decide which order you want them to go in. So I've got floral, so they can go on the outside. So the middle one is going to be just my standard notes. So I'm going to open that up to the centre of this signature. Now you can, if you want to, stitch these as well. So if you want to make sure that these pages stay put, then you can just use that 3-hole pamphlet stitch that I showed you last Saturday and stitch these first before adding them into your journal. I'm not going to bother because I like the fact that I can just pull out single sheets if I want to. Okay, I'm also going to just pull that knot around to the outside. Okay, and then just shuffle it up so that it's kind of, sort of, in the middle. This is where having those holes punched in to hold this in place is quite a good idea to do. But once you've done it, you've done it. And I'll explain why I'm not doing that once I've added the other 2 signatures. So just shuffle those into the middle. So they're now sat quite nicely on the inside. Let me just put that to one side and pull the other 2 back in. So now we have our longer, less taut one. So go to the middle, find your middle signature, like so, and then put your elastic around. Now can you see how it's just tight enough to start pulling? Now I'm going to actually just change that round so that that knot is at the top. Okay, so we've got that one. You then want to take the middle of your second one. There we go. And then we're going to slide that one in the back. Pull the knot up so that when you're done, you have two on the same elastic that are back to back. And it doesn't matter which way around you have them. Okay, so bring your Lapbook back in again, and this time I want you to grab and pinch, and then we're going to feed. Actually, you can do it whichever way you want to do it. You can either feed the middle through there, or you can lift it up and slide the whole thing under. It really doesn't matter, whichever way you find easier to do. And then just wrestle it until you've pretty much got them in the middle. There. So you've now got all those inclusions sitting in your Lapbook. Done. No stitching, no holes. Done, done, done. So when you open it up now, you've got your stitched notes at this side, but you've also got all these ones that you can literally use to write on, journal on, paint, if you're feeling that way inclined, write your lists, write your to-do lists, and if you need to, you can just take them out. So, the reason I said I wasn't going to put the holes so that they would be permanent, this is the reason why. If I shuffle all of those over to that side, and you see, I've still got all that space on the spine, which means I could add another band and another set of 3 if I wanted to, and then I can just even them out, and I can keep on adding them until it gets too thick. So as you can see, there's at least space for another 3 before it even starts to even get remotely thick. That's the reason why I didn't want to punch the holes and just put a single elastic down through the middle. Now if you know that you're going to be having, or you want to add in 6 signatures, then you could literally punch 2 holes and then thread 2 lots of elastic. But that's up to you, how you customise yours. And that's the whole point. I show you the basics, you then go away and do it and customise it however you want to do yours. So my Lapbook now is becoming quite thick, and I've not even written a single word in there yet. Fun. So the only thing I've got left to do now to show you how to keep on building in this Lapbook is how to create those fantastic flip out pages. Let me just grab my other Lapbook, my 6x9 one, and I'm talking about these flip out pages. So that's the only thing now I've got left to show you how to do. I've decorated another page. I used ribbon on that one. Look, fabulous. Anyway, so I will do that to show you how to create those flip out pages another day, because I think this video is probably long enough. And I really like those Tim Holtz papers. And of course, I can now go in if I want to and distress those edges, adding pockets on the front of these, if I so wished, to create a little bit more interest. So, it's as easy as that. Like I said, no hole punching, no stitching, no glue or anything. Just some very, very inexpensive elastic. Now, I forgot to mention, this elastic is 2 millimeters, or was that 1/16 of an inch? I think. Very, very thin. And you can get this from any kind of jewellery making company. I just went onto eBay and put in black elastic and got this basically, and I only paid a couple of pounds for it, and there is 5 meters I think on this little bundle, which is enough to do who knows how many journals. So that will get put into a drawer and then kept safe. I'll probably put it with my needles that I used for stitching. So there you go. So it was 2 millimeter elastic, and of course it does come in other colours as well, so you can customize it however you want to. So if you did enjoy watching that, please do give the video a thumbs up, because it really does help with this stupid new YouTube algorithm. Share the video with all your friends, of course, if you think that they will enjoy it, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video, or just clicking that subscribe button below the video if you're watching it on the website. That's the YouTube website, that is. Anyway, that's enough from me. I will see you all again very soon with that final page, the flip out page, and that should be the end of, or the final video in this Lapbook series. So I will see you then. Bye for now. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, without whose generosity and support these videos would not be possible. Thank you.